Well, I think something else that you did, right? You joined our challenge and you were in that
Yeah,
group,
yeah, I
right?
did.
And we talk about your first partner.
Yes. That is like the biggest deal ever, like way bigger than the four contracts. So it's a full circle moment because I have won four contracts and then I just recently landed my first partnership
Hmm.
with a large remediation company. There's nothing special about me. I'm literally just a regular person that's just doing this and winning these contracts. You don't have to have anything. I mean, I never even knew what government contracting was. Honestly, what I have to say to the people is that just keep going. It's going to happen.
Let's talk about, you said full circle moment. Let's just start there. Full circle. So where are you at today when you say it's a full circle moment?
So it's a full circle moment because I am now, I have won four contracts. And then I just recently, I mean, very recently, landed my first partnership
Hmm.
with a large remediation company whom I will be partnering up with to like tackle some of these larger projects.
Nice. Congratulations. Wow. You know? And how did that feel for you?
um, it was mind altering, truly, because for a while I've always kind of been in. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, always like since a kid. I just have gone through so many failures in life. And I think that we all kind of do, trying to get to where we're supposed to get to, especially when you're walking with God and, when He keeps you from doing things that you think is best for you, but it's just not. So now I'm at the point where I've developed a skill that I can now see unfold in so many aspects of my life and like so many opportunities. So I just think that I don't know, this has just been life changing for me. Just the ability to see and all the doors that have been opening up for me, where it's just like as last year I was in a completely different spot.
So let's talk about that for the people who missed the first one. You said you won four contracts. Um, Tell us, where were you at last year versus where you're at this year?
So last year I was actually selling on Amazon. And I was pretty successful selling on Amazon for a while. But over the last couple of months, Amazon has gotten pretty strict, and just that avenue was getting a little bit difficult for me. So with the contracts that I started, I kind of just heard about it through an Instagram story where a friend of mine just kind of posted it on their close friends and talked about what they did. I'd followed them for a while. I never knew what they did. I always seen them living lavish, traveling, but they never really talked about what they did until one day they just decided to, and it sparked my interest immediately. And I just kind of started binge watching all your stuff, and I bid my first contract and I won my first contract.
Now, why did you start binge watching me? Right, there's a lot of people doing government contracts. What was it about your friend's story that made you binge watch me?
So I started binge watching you because my friend actually told me to start binge watching you. I had asked him about it, and he had he had ran down with it. Oh, he had went over it with me and stuff like that. And he was like, the person that you really have to look up is Eric Coffee, and so I did what he said. I looked you up,
Right.
and there was just endless content, literally.
You know what's fascinating that I appreciate about you and your story, which honestly, believe it or not, it does inspire me, is because I make a lot of content, right? And a lot of my heavy content that actually is the training educational piece, people don't watch it. So it doesn't have a lot of views. So if you actually take it upon yourself to learn it and watch that, like you're getting real stuff. If you're not just following the shiny object content with 50,000 views, 20,000 views, the one that is like just the success stories, if you're actually watching the ones on how to write a proposal or how to bid or how to estimate or how to get supplier credit, those that content is amazing content, I think.
Especially those old ones, because I mean, just even when you're watching them and just even having them play, You know, like even if it's like having them replay, you already seen the video, but you haven't, like the terminology, picking up the vocabulary, like it's helped so much. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if I didn't do that, I would have not have gone as far as I did.
So tell us. Thank you for that. Tell us about the four contracts, right? A little bit about them. I know from last time one was a landscape contract.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
So my first one was a waste pickup contract,
Okay.
and that is actually for 5 years. It's a BPA.
Hmm.
So that's awesome. That was my first contract, and then my second contract was a catering contract, where I catered for some. Where I had a subcontractor, and we catered for the troops. And then my third one is a landscaping contract that's down here in Miami.
Hmm.
And then my fourth one that I just won is was to relocate a woman uh, in Virginia.
Okay. All right. Now I want to go about the catering one because I remember that story. Right. You were having a hard time funding that one.
Yeah. So the catering one was gonna be my okay. So the way my first contract worked, it was a service based contract, and they were okay with the whole invoicing every month at the end of the every month, because usually services like that are. But this one, it was a catering. So obviously, when you do catering, they usually want a deposit up front, and that's the way that that happened. So I found the opportunity. I looked online for caterers in that area. I found a caterer. I had seen they had already did business with the government previously, but I still contact them. I literally filled out a contact us page on their website, and they reached out to me. They said, hey, we actually do catering over there all the time. We would love to partner up with you. So we were talking, we were, through email, kind of getting quotes, getting numbers and stuff like that. And when the time came to, it was about 2 days. I want to even say a day before the submission was due, which this was a learning experience. I should have had this conversation a lot earlier on. But I told them that, the payment structure, we would get paid after the catering is done. And I didn't know this, but when solicitations have anything to do with food, they pay within 7 days as opposed to net 30, like
Mhm.
all the other ones. So um, I let them know that, and when I let them know that, they gave me a real hard time. The lady, she was like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? We're not doing that again. We're not going through this. You contractors just hire us. And she gave me a really hard time, and I understood because she ended up telling me that she had did business like this before, and a contractor didn't do what they were supposed to do, and they ended up getting burned. And so she was hesitant with trying to work with me, but I just let her know I was being genuine. Like, hey, I'm really just trying to build a relationship here. I'm just trying to, we both win in the situation. If we win the contract, I'm just trying to, um, you know, if this does go good, then we'll be able to continuously do more projects. So, did I lose you? Oh.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
So yeah, and from the beginning of the conversation, she was super like, ah, no. But by the end, she was very nice with me. And there was actually another catering that had just came up a couple weeks ago, and they were more than willing to work with me. It was the smoothest process I've had so far. Um,
Ah,
yeah. So
wow. So let me ask you a couple questions. So when you started, you had a lot of money, right?
not for this, no.
Nah, not for
I
this.
was like, I'm not going to. I had already started so many business ventures. I'm like, I'm not going to just put so much money in. So I was like, no, I did not have no money
Interesting.
to do it.
Okay. So, what do you think gave you the advantage to bid these projects? Like, what made you like have the courage to tackle this stuff? Because a lot of people say, "Well, I mean, everyone's bidding these contracts, and why am I special? Why do I think I can even win?"
Um, there's nothing special about me. I'm literally just a regular person that's just doing this and winning these contracts. And I mean, it just shows you that you don't have to have anything. You don't
Mm,
have to be anybody because I really have no experience in this field whatsoever. I mean, I never even knew what government contracting was before I never even heard about it. No one have ever spoke to me about it. It was, I was clueless to the whole idea.
mm.
Never worked a government job. You know what I mean? Never did any of that. So it proved to me, especially when I had bid my first contract and won my first contract, it had just proved to me that I'm like, oh, like this is for me. Like I could do this. Anybody could do this.
How long ago did you start your like journey and learning? Um,
I got my cage code in April.
so you started learning back in April. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, when I put my application in, you know how it takes a couple days
Mhm.
for you to get your cage code. So I went ahead and did what I needed to do because I was like, as soon as I get my cage code, I want to just start bidding, and so that's what happened. You
What do you say to people that are afraid to bid?
just gotta do it. You just gotta go in and do it. Like they're gonna tell you if you mess up when you ask. You know what I mean? They're gonna say that you can ask for a debrief. You can ask for any details that you need. They'll let you know. And just use resources like just get it. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do.
Um, one of the things that people often ask me is, they have something on their record, and can they do it with something on their record? What would you say to that?
Well, I would say that I'm a felon, so um, you could absolutely do this. You know what I mean? I became a felon in 2021, and
Mm,
there was, I mean, so many times where like I had even tried to be an insurance adjuster,
mm,
drove to Arkansas for 16 hours, got there for 3 days, and they ended up telling me I had to turn around and go back home because of my background.
mm.
I mean, and that was the straw for me where I was just like, okay, well, you know what? I probably need to stick to the original plan, which was being an entrepreneur and finding something that worked for myself. So,
I love that because one of the things that I always say is I like the C students, the forgotten, the left behind. I like those kind of people because they have hustle, they got grit, they have resiliency. I mean, just you sharing that story of driving to Arkansas 16 hours, being turned around. That's the kind of people that I like to work with, because they have that, never quit, never give up type of attitude, and that's what I think it takes to make it in this space more so than anything else. It's really
yeah,
like, it's interesting. Um, when everyone hears all of the language, get out of your comfort zone, right? Be around people you can't afford to be around, right? Your net worth is an average your network, but we still don't do it.
yeah. And nobody talks about how difficult it is to do that, especially when you're used to the same things, you're used to your lifestyle. You really have to like change to,
Hmm.
especially when you're used to certain things. And especially like what obviously with my background and stuff, I obviously was not around people or doing things that I was supposed to be doing as
Hmm.
opposed to now, so it's pretty difficult to make that change, but once you do, it's just so liberating, and your life actually it just changes.
Did you have to lose any friends?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. That's a lie. Lie. I've lost a couple actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I said no like it was nothing, but no, I actually lost a couple, and it's crazy because now that I think about the reason that I lost the people that I did lose, it's just we are just not the same in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
And it didn't work out for a reason. So
Okay. No, I always wonder because again, for me, as you know, with all of my content, I'm trying to help paint a path for the people coming behind us, right? And so I want your story to be somewhat of an inspiration and a testimony to what can happen. So, you know, what would you say to other people out here who've maybe lost their place, lost their footing? What made you like change? What was the light bulb moment?
Um, to be honest, I just didn't want to see myself in the same position that I've been in. And I think that in order to do anything in life, your mindset is so important. I mean, it's the very first thing. That's why whenever you buy a course or you get a lesson, the first thing that they talk about is getting your mind right. So it's like once I decided that I wanted to lock in with myself and like just really change my life, I think that's when everything else was just kind of like duh, you know. So
Interesting. No, I'm always very curious because, like you said, you went from knowing nothing to binge watching my content. A lot of people binge watch the content, or they say they binge watch the content. I don't really know, you know. Um, so, if what would you say to the people who claim that they're watching the contracts and they still haven't had any success or luck? What would you tell them?
I would say that you just are, I'm gonna be honest, you're just not doing enough. You're just not learning enough. You're just not doing what it takes. Because when you look at somebody like me who had no experience whatsoever, I just knew how to kind of put one and one together to get two, which I think that's all you need in this space. Then it's just like you may have to kind of go back to the drawing board and rethink about what you're doing and how you're actually taking in the content. Are you actually sitting down, or are you doing something while you're having the
Mm,
content playing? Are you taking notes? Are you like rewatching them? Are you remembering like, oh hey, he mentioned this in this video. Let me go rewatch this because I know that he was talking about it. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like
right.
those type of things are the things that you have to make an effort to in order to do what needs to be done. So
Well, I think something else that you did, right? You joined our challenge, and you were in that group,
exactly.
right? And we talk about your first partner.
Yes. That is like the biggest deal ever, like way bigger than the four contracts. To be honest, like that's
Okay.
to me, that's like the biggest deal ever because um first of all, it was so easy. I was so scared. Like I was so scared because
Tell us, girl. Come on, tell
they
us. Tell us.
were a huge company, you know, like they're a huge company and I didn't know
What'd you
how to
do?
approach them. I'm like, how, I don't really have, I just started like, it's my third day here. Like I just
My
started.
third day.
I don't even know what's going on. So, um, what made me approach them is because I seen a LinkedIn post where they said they were hiring for a proposal manager. So like to me, I'm like, this is my way in right here. Like this is my way in. So I had already been in cahoots with somebody who was over there about potential projects, who was connecting me with different people and stuff like that on some previous things that I had brought up to them. But I just know in my mind that they're willing to work with me. So that was another reason why I was just like, you know what, let me stop being scared and just approach them, see what happens. Because the worst they could say is no, and they're already my subcontractor. So what's really gonna happen? Like, where's the loss in this situation? So it was just me being scared of intimidated. So when I did see the post, I emailed the guy that I was in cahoots with, talking
Mhm.
with, and he didn't get back to me. And I'm like, well, what's going on? Like, I sent another follow up. He didn't get back to me either. And usually he's pretty responsive, especially on opportunities and stuff. So I had reached out to my point of contact on my actual contract, still within the
Mm,
company, but my point of contact within my contract. So, like the sales manager, and I asked him to put me in contact with the regional manager because the other one, whoever the person that I was speaking with on opportunity just kind of went ghost. And so I reached out to somebody else. I got a higher contact information for the regional sales manager, and I was able to schedule a call with her. And so when she scheduled the call, it wasn't even a schedule of a call. She was just like, "Hey, how can I help you?" And I just recopied the same email I sent to the other guy and sent it to her. And she was like, "Yeah, I'll meet. I'll find some time this week to speak with you. What's your phone number?" And so I gave her my phone number, and she gave me hers. And so I texted her. She did not answer for a couple days. I texted her again. She didn't answer. I'm like, all right, what's going on? I was I had mixed feelings. So then I emailed her, no answer. Yesterday, I am chilling. When I mean chilling, like I mean chilling, like feet up. It's on my food break. I'm chilling, and I see her number pop up on my phone, like she's calling me. Now, mind you, when she told me she was willing to have a meeting with me, I was already getting prepared. I was like, let me write up a document, do my market research on them, bring the value, what value do I bring to them? Just ticking off my things that I would need to speak to as far as like my spiel,
Hmm.
or just to present myself. You know what I mean? Because I was really just trying to be genuine, but I didn't want to like let them know that I knew what I was talking about and on
Hmm.
some extent. So when she called me in the middle of my lunch break, my big chilling session, I had to just kind of scramble, get on the phone, and I killed it. I mean, apparently because she was so willing, so eager, she actually ended up telling me that she's switching companies to a larger competitor and wants to bring my skills to that competitor, and that she's going to them next Friday. And so she will be scheduling a meeting with them this week so that we can discuss the potential opportunity that I had discussed with her previously with the new company. And then after she becomes a free agent, which will be after Friday, we will then get on a group teaming meeting on how to discuss how she can potentially help me. And these were her words. Like, it was just so crazy. She was so receptive. I mean, she said all the things that you would want a big company like that to say. I mean, she was saying there's plenty of enough money to eat for everybody. It's small businesses against the government. And I was just, that's what you look for in a partner. So I'm very excited for this journey because now I have something to work with. I feel like.
No, I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. That's great. I really appreciate that. And, it's interesting. I mean, I remember you coming on. One second. Hold on one second. All right, we're back. Yeah, no, what I was saying before we got interrupted was I remember when you came into the challenge and I compared you to one of my successful students. You remember that?
Wendy.
There you go. So no, for me, I'm always happy because, and I don't know if you know this, you're starting at the same time I started when I was that
I didn't
age.
know that.
So, this is, but and they always say this. They say that uh, people that are successful, they want to see you, the best for you. So my hope is that you've surpassed where I was at during those time frame, right? Because the goal for me is to give back more resources and opportunities so that you don't have to make my same mistakes. You can make new mistakes, and so with that, you should be able to reduce the time frame to get to a certain level, and that's what we want. And that's what we want to do for everyone. So that's my hope for you is that you take the knowledge, you take my mistakes, you take all the things that I've learned, and you shorten your time frame, right, to achieving mastery in this subject. I do have a question, and then we're going to wrap up. How did you come up with the name Tommy Lee Capital?
Um,
It's your name.
it is. But nobody asked me that.
Well, because
It's just like a childhood thing.
okay,
It's just
okay, all right. You don't want to say.
a
That's
story for
fine.
another time. A story for another time.
Okay, we'll do it another time. That's fine. No worries. That's okay. Well, no, listen. Again, I'm happy that we're able to come back on and do this again. I know that the sound was pretty poorly on the last interview. And so, for me, we look forward to seeing you next week
Yes.
and
All days.
all days. Good stuff. Good
Say hi
stuff.
to me.
And so we're going to have fun. We're going to break bread together. We're going to meet some people and have some great conversations, have a lot of fun. And then at the end, we'll celebrate and party. But
Yeah.
because, you know, I will say this, it's interesting. So, um, I had a meeting with a billionaire, and it was
Ooh.
my first time. I met some people, in the 500 million range, um, but it's interesting. So the way that I met him was because I met these other guys at a conference where we're out drinking,
Mm-hmm.
and so then we had gone to the same university, and but they liked me because I was cool and we were drinking, and they were, I think they're a little bit younger than you, um, and
Younger
so
than
we
me?
had that, huh?
Younger than me? Billionaires?
No, no, no. These kids are not. No, they're not. These kids are not. The
Okay.
person they introduced me to was.
Okay.
But I met them, and they had a personal relationship with this person, and so they were able to connect me with them and get a meeting. So the point of the story is that when you're out and you're doing the activities, if you're in the right rooms, in the right environments, you're not just drinking with people on the streets. You're not, like you're not
Right.
just hanging out and partying with like the people that are
No, you are working.
you're,
You're
you're working, right? You're networking because
like,
you're in the rooms with people that are influential and powerful and connected. And those connections can make a difference and change your life forever.
it's
And
not about what you know, it's who you
it's
know.
always who you know. But people go, well, I drink. Yeah, well, listen, not about drinking at Applebee's with your friends. On work.
Not Applebee's.
Listen, I'm an Applebee's guy. So, on my
More like
next book, I'll
if I'm
put
gonna
that down there. That one
have,
at Cutler Ridge. I used to go to Applebee's like 3 times a week.
I'm more like of a Chili's. If,
Well, no,
if,
I like the Applebee's because it was again first is down south.
yeah. Are you talking about the one by South End? Oh my God, that
That was
one
my
used to
spot.
get crunk. That
Oh
one was
yeah,
ratchet. That one was
yeah,
ratchet.
it was very ratchet. I know that's what exactly right. But
Oh, but
hey,
it was fun.
but it was fun. Listen, it
And
was
the
so
Olive
much fun.
Garden too.
Yes, you got
Oh
Applebee's, Olive
no.
Garden, the movie theater, and then the strip club.
Yep.
And then I live.
Red Roosters right there. You know the liquor.
I've been a Red Rooster. Listen, I'm from
Oh my
Goose. I've
God.
been a Red Rooster.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
know,
You
but
feel
I had many great days at Applebee's. I don't care what nobody says. I have. We can talk
You know,
about
I
that
can
offline.
see you at Applebee's. You know that?
That was listen. I had a lot of good days there. So hey, listen, do me a favor. Tell the people something positive. We don't act around and made all this foolishness. Tell the people something nice.
Okay.
We're gonna cut up this time.
Um, honestly, what I have to say to the people is that just keep going. Like you're literally like it's going to happen. That's all I have to say is just keep going, keep doing what you're supposed to do, and the things will just happen. Doors will just start opening. Um, and make sure you pray.
Make sure you pray. All right. With that, we're out of here. Be good, love. I'll see you in a little bit.